we have to enter ourselves? No.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is 3 o'clock, and I'll call the meeting to order. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you who are joining us both in person and virtually for our January 28th, 2026 first public board meeting of the year. I remember just recently we said for the first public board meeting, and that was back in September. So, we've come a long way and how hopeful of a year it's been so far. And as is customary, we're pleased to acknowledge our senior leadership and of course, our amazing staff at today's public board meeting, including our valued ATA Local 54 representatives. Now, I do see Vice President Owen Holloway here. I don't know if the rest of your colleagues are coming, but please share. They're not today, okay? Thank you. But thank you. You are such a one of our trusted and reliable supporters. Thank you. And of course, we always have much to celebrate, recognizing that our staff is our greatest strength and that Catholic education is a gift that allows us to live its mission with clarity and hope, ensuring that student success and well-being remain our top priority. And on the note of excellence, and as a community of faith, we'll turn it over to Father Glenn to please lead us in prayer.
Well, Madam Chair, Trustees, let us begin in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Glory to you, O Lord. Jesus began to teach beside the sea. Such a very large crowd gathered around him that he got into a boat on the water and sat there, while the whole crowd was beside the sea on the land. He began to teach them many things in parables, and in teaching he said this to them. Listen, a sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seed fell on the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Other seed fell on rocky ground, where it did not have much soil, and it sprang up quickly, since it had no depth of soil. And when the sun rose, it was scorched, and since it had no root, it withered away. Other seed fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no grain. Other seed fell on good soil, and brought forth grain, growing up and increasing and yielding 30 and 60 and 100-fold. And he said, Let anyone with ears to hear listen. When Jesus was alone, those who were around him, along with the 12, asked him about the parable. And he said to them, To you has been given the secret of the kingdom of God, but for those outside, everything comes in parables, in order that they may indeed look, but not perceive, and may indeed listen, but not understand, so that they may not turn again and be forgiven. And Jesus said to them, Do you not understand this parable? Then how will you understand all the parables? The sower sows the word, and these are the ones on the path where the word is sown. When they hear, Satan immediately comes and takes away the word that is sown in them. And these are the ones sown on rocky ground. When they hear the word, they immediately receive it with joy. But they have no root, and endure only for a while. Then when trouble or persecutions arise on account of the word, immediately they fall away. And others are those sown among the thorns. These are the ones who hear the word, but the cares of the world and the lure of wealth and the desire of other things comes in and chokes the word, and it yields nothing. And these are the ones sown on good soil. They hear the word, accept it, and bear fruit 30 and 60 and 100-fold. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. So my friends, today's Gospel reading, beautiful imagery that applies so easily to the work that you do as trustees and the work that our beautiful teachers and staff and faculty do to try to cultivate good soil for our young people to flourish and grow, especially the beautiful seeds that their families have entrusted to us and to our care. And so that kind of pretty much writes itself, to be honest. But the word actually that I was really drawn to in this gospel reading that repeats the beginning and end of Jesus telling the parable is the word listen. In Benedict's rule, so the rule that Saint Benedict wrote for the monastic life, the first word is listen. And I hear that echoed in this gospel reading. And I would just highlight that word in particular. It's the one that spoke to me. So, because if we are to build good soil or cultivate good soil for our seeds to grow, listening will be always the starting point that we begin with. And so let us ask the Holy Spirit to help us to listen to one another and to the voices in our community and our families and in the poor, and so that we may cultivate a beautiful garden for all to flourish and grow. And so let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you, friends.
Thank you very much, Father Glenn, for your beautiful reflection and, of course, for reminding us that listening is extremely important. You continue to be a faith champion of Edmonton Catholic School. Thank you. Moving on to 1.2, we'll now call upon Trustee Mutala to please read our land acknowledgement. Trustee Mutala, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of Treaty 6 and home of the Métis. We also acknowledge the Inuit and other diverse Indigenous peoples whose ancestors have marked this territory for centuries, a place that has welcomed many peoples from around the world to make their home here. We, at Edmonton Catholic Schools, commit to restoring and honoring the truth and reconciliation calls to action. We strongly believe that truth must be acknowledged to move forward to reconciliation. Together, we call upon all our collective communities to build a stronger understanding of all peoples who dwell on this land we call home.
Thank you very much, Trustee Mutala. Next is 1.3. Next on the agenda is 1.3, and I'll note for the record that all trustees are present. Moving on to 1.4, approval of the agenda, and I am looking for a motion to approve today's agenda as circulated. Just waiting for, there we go. Trustee Taber, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve today's agenda.
Thank you very much. Do you wish to speak to your motion?
No, thank you.
Thank you. And seeing no one else in queue, we will now call the vote. Thank you. As all trustees have voted and are in favor, we'll note that the motion to approve today's agenda as circulated has been approved. And as such, consent items 1.4.1.1, 2026 to 2027 division school year and year-round school year calendar update, and all recommendations contained therein have also been approved. We will now move on to approval of the minutes 1.5.1, and we are looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of December 17th, 2025, and I'll turn it to you, Trustee Mutala.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the minutes of the regular board meeting of December 17th, 2025 be approved.
Thank you. Do you wish to speak to your motion?
No, thank you.
Thank you. And seeing no one else in queue, we will once again proceed to call the vote. Thank you very much. Once again, for the record, as all trustees are in favor, the motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of December 17th, 2025 is carried. We will now move on to 1.5.2. As there are no matters arising from the minutes, we will proceed to ECSD's Journey of Excellence. 1.6, Alberta's top 85 employers 2026 designation, and we're delighted to turn it over to you, Chief Superintendent Anderson.
Thank you very much and welcome everyone. It is great to be beginning by sharing some exciting news. So each year, Media Corps holds a top employers competition for companies to engage in that takes a comprehensive look at various aspects of operations and human resources practices to determine which ones have the most progressive and forward-thinking programs. This year, the application process required the submission of detailed information about our practices in 10 domains: work environment, work atmosphere and communications, health benefits, financial benefits and compensation, family-friendly policies, programs for experienced employees, employee engagement, training and development, vacation policy and paid days off, and community involvement. And so we are delighted to share that Edmonton Catholic Schools is celebrating 11 years of being named one of the top employers in Alberta. So I'd like to share just a few examples that we highlighted in this year's competition. And it would include information beginning in May of 2025. So as you know, our enrollment continues to climb, and we have surpassed 50,000 students at the beginning of 2024-2025, and our staff continue to welcome them with joy to the beauty of Catholic education. And as our student population soars, we have implemented some innovative programs to engage and recruit staff to serve our student population. One of the many ways the division demonstrates this is through its involvement in the Spanish Visiting Teacher Program, developed in partnership with the Spanish Embassy and the Ministry of Education in Spain. We also hold Inspiring Career Resource event at Lumen Christi, celebrating and supporting educators at every stage of their professional journey. We also launched an integrated well-being framework aimed at enhancing the overall health and well-being of both staff and students. And we are equally excited to have launched the SHINE Leadership Development Framework this year, which represents some skills and behaviors, abilities and knowledge required to lead from all levels of non-school-based roles in the division. And finally, again, we got to celebrate and have our opening of Father Michael McCaffrey Catholic High School in September 2024, which was our new high school in over a decade. And I could go on, but I'm just cognizant of the time. But before I pass it over, I would like to acknowledge both Executive Director Susan McCauley and Manager Janice Williamson-Bourget from Human Resources team, who put many hours in this application process, and it is really comprehensive, and they reach out to all the different departments to gather all the information, and they put it together in such a comprehensive, concise manner, and off it goes, and here we are celebrating today. So thank you for all your support. And so our communication team created a special video to highlight the joy that our staff bring to their work every day, and so we would like to share that at this point. And yes, we'll clap for the communications team that put that video together. And so I am pleased to present Edmonton Catholic Schools Board of Trustees with the Crystal Award to commemorate our designation as one of Alberta's top 85 employers 2026. Yay!
Will it move if I put it here?
100% it'll move. We all have to.
Should we pass it down the line?
There we go.
We'll start here.
Okay.
Well, I meant pass down the line, but
Tomorrow.
To conclude, Madam Chair, our recommendation is that the Board of Trustees acknowledges and celebrates achieving the designation of one of Alberta's top 85 employers for 2026.
Thank you very much. And you'll have to pardon the excitement. I mean, things like this we're just over the moon. And of course, it's because we're just so proud and so joyous at opportunities, every opportunity we have as such. And so congratulations, Chief Superintendent Anderson. And of course, I know that she's already applauded you, but we would be remiss if we didn't do it again and again and again. So to, of course, our Executive Director and good friend, Susan McCauley, and of course, our manager from Human Resources, our gifted and talented Janice Williamson-Berger, for once again making this designation a reality. So, I have to share this. Yesterday, our HR team and manager of religious education came to present to our student voice students. And at the presentation, our staff shared their full circle stories and how as products of Edmonton Catholic, they embraced today the joy and value that they have in teaching with Edmonton Catholic, and how proud they are to be both teachers, educators, staff, administrators, leaders, a place that they deemed as exceptional. And today, here we are celebrating this extraordinary recognition. And so I think that all of you and all of our staff across our division, once again, truly deserve applause from the Board of Trustees. And so if you're ready, let's applaud them. And so as we continue to say, it's a joy to celebrate 11 years. We're running out of room here, but keep getting them, keep bringing them, because we'll find a place. As one of Alberta's top 85 employers is an understatement, as this achievement is once again no coincidence. And we know that. It doesn't just happen year after year after year for 11 years. That's no coincidence. From continued enrollment growth and innovative recruitment initiatives to the launch of supporting well-being and leadership frameworks and the opening, as Chief Superintendent Anderson shared, of Father Michael McCaffrey Catholic High School, Edmonton Catholic Schools continues to distinguish itself as an exceptional place to work. And so one person that, while all of our senior leadership who are here and all of our staff are responsible, we also have our superintendent from HR who made this happen today, and of course, to all of your staff. And if you could share those that kudos with everyone, and for yesterday's presentation as well. Thank you to you. Because all of this reflects the dedication, the professionalism, and the commitment of and a buzzword that we use often over and over again on this board is extraordinary, of our extraordinary staff. And of course, it's through the division's steadfast commitment to a progressive workplace, which was identified in Chief Superintendent's message to all of us, the meaningful growth and the strong culture of care where children and students are a first priority is truly what makes us ECSD proud. And so it is an honor to share heartfelt congratulations to all of you for your collective efforts in achieving this well-deserved achievement. And as this is not a motion, I take great pride in reading the recommendation for the record that the Board of Trustees acknowledges and celebrates achieving the designation of one of Alberta's top employers for 2026. And I do see trustees in queue, and so we will now open discussion to the board, with Trustee Mutala being first. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just want to say a big congratulations to all of Edmonton Catholic Schools for being named one of the top 85 employers for 11 years in a row. And we know it takes a village to do all this and to make everybody feel safe and inclusive and caring, to work together in this environment, and people recognize that. So it's not just one person, it's Chief Superintendent Anderson, all the senior admin team, all the teachers and staff who feel valued here. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We're extremely grateful for our village. Next in queue is Vice Chair Tuchansky. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So thank you, Chief Superintendent Anderson, and of course, Executive Director McCauley and Human Resources Manager Williamson-Berger. You do have to be named because this is a lot of work. It's not just something that just pops up on your desk and it just is instant. So I am so proud to congratulate Edmonton Catholic Schools for being named again one of Alberta's top employers for the 11th year in a row. In fact, that's almost as long as Debbie's been a trustee. So we're so grateful for that. It reflects how intentional and thoughtful we are in this division. It's a deep look at how we support our people, from our work environment and well-being to professional growth and development, family-friendly policies, leadership development, and community involvement. And it confirms what so many of us already know, that this is a division that truly invests in all of its people. As our enrollment continues to grow beyond 50,000 students, our staff continue to meet that growth with innovation, creativity, joy, and love. Whether that's through international partnerships, meaningful recruitment initiatives, leadership development, or a strong commitment to staff wellness and care. This honor belongs to all of our incredible employees, our administration, and every staff member who lives out our mission each day, serving God in one another and shaping lives through Catholic education. We are so grateful that you're letting the trustees along for the ride. Congratulations and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Juchansky. Next in queue is Trustee Tiber. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And of course, thank you, everyone. But I also want to thank Father Glenn for highlighting listening. And I think because we listened, we were innovative and we were able to meet the needs of our students and our teachers, our teachers and the division. And then in turn, they took care of our students. And, we are truly blessed to be able to do this in a publicly funded Catholic education system in Alberta. And we are allowed to share our faith in education, and we share it with the entire Catholic community as well. And this is just one more example of how we truly do excel in Catholic education in Edmonton Catholic schools. And I've seen us achieve the first one, and we were so excited. We thought, this is fabulous. We're going to have one. And then we thought, we got another one. This is great. Oh, how about we have 7 for each trustee? We'll have one all displayed. And now we need a whole bookcase for them. And I think that's just incredible to watch how we have advanced the mission of Edmonton Catholic Schools and how hard we really do, again, with the student in mind. So thank you for listening and being able to really see what needs to be done, where we need to go, and to get us there. So thank you for everybody that was involved in it, but it was just incredible all around. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Tiber. And you know who else was listening yesterday? All of the students who said they were now going to go into education. Yeah. Thank you very much. Next in queue is Trustee Ingle. Go ahead, please.
Well, I just got in queue a minute late because coming in this door, I watched in action what it means to be welcoming and kind. I saw a family come in with a little child, a brand new baby wrapped in the mother's arms, looking very confused. And I saw our very own Christine Meadows hop up, go out, greet them with a smile, watching the ease on their face as she led them to where they were going, which is probably One World, One Center. It was just dynamic to watch that. And I know that Christine was the one that did it, but I know all of you would have. And it just was so appropriate as I was listening to Trustee Tiber talk to watch kindness in action. I don't know if anyone else has ADD and they're looking everywhere, but I am, and so I see everything. I also want to say thank you to Susan and to Mrs. Bourget for doing the application. It's hard enough to apply for, I guess I haven't applied for anything ever, but I bet it's hard. But you do an exceptional job because the application covers what we do in this district. I want to thank Chief Superintendent Anderson, Superintendent Kennard, and all the superintendents at the division level for the job they do, because it flows down to the administration at the school, which flows down to the teachers, which flows down to the students and the parents, all the staff. I just feel so welcomed by the custodian when I enter and I'm asking questions. I feel so welcomed by the students. It's a family that we've created, and winning this award, yes, leadership starts at the top, of course, but this is a family, and every member of the family, it was really evident to me yesterday as well when we were saying the prayer, and I knew this was on the agenda today with our student voice kids, and we did the division prayer that Director Tellerico wrote, and when we were talking about treating everyone with kindness, just the way they read it and how engaged they were. So part of our family is to be kind, and I don't know, I think a top place to work is where everyone's kind.
Thank you very much. Reminds me of Catholic education. Yeah, good job.
Yes, it does, yeah.
Thank you. And so seeing no one else in queue, once again, congratulations, Chief Superintendent Anderson, and of course, our entire Edmonton Catholic team. What an exciting way to celebrate our first public board meeting of 2026. And as we share gratitude, we continue, of course, to journey as people of hope, which takes us to number 2 on the agenda. 2.1, Community of School Councils, what we heard, and we'll turn it back over to you, Chief Superintendent Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So as some of you may know, Edmonton Catholic Schools develops and implements an educational strategic plan known as our Division Plan for Continuous Growth in a 3-year cycle. We are currently in our 3rd year and final year of our Division Plan for Continuous Growth 2023 to 2026. The Board of Trustees is embarking on the journey of establishing the priorities to be used to guide the educational plan for the 2026 to 2029 cycle. A critical component of the establishment of those priorities is hearing the voice of our families. So again, that key word of listen, the families in our school community. School councils are the official voice of the families of our schools. And to that end, the Board of Trustees held a Community of School Councils meeting on November 18th, 2025. At this point, I will turn it over to Executive Director Susan McCauley to provide a summary of the themes identified during that engagement process to help shape our new 3-year educational plan.
Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent Anderson. Participants in our Community of School Councils evening experienced a presentation in each of the 4 areas of work that the division will be focusing on over the next 3 years. The 4 areas were our Catholic identity, optimal learning, student well-being, and classroom complexity. After each presentation, school representatives were asked to answer 2 questions with respect to the work. Firstly, as a school community, how will this work enhance the school experience for all students? And secondly, as a parent, what is most important to you in this area of work? It is worth noting that the presentations were designed to provide an executive-level glimpse of the work that was being done with the intention of gathering a corresponding high-level insight into the most important elements of the work from both a school and parental perspective. As such, the themes and values that were captured are correlated to the information that was presented and may present limitations because of that. For example, the classroom complexity presentation focused on speech and language pathology and English as an additional language, resulting in some themes that are largely reflective of language acquisition, which is just a slice of the work that's going to occur in the area of classroom complexity. The themes that we gathered from the engagement evening will be used to help establish the priorities for the Division Plan for Continuous Growth 2026 to 2029. To get common themes with meaningful labels rather than only raw phrases, keyword groupings were used, which were reflective of what appears repeatedly in the data set that we gathered. These theme labels are grounded in recurrent terms found across entries. So, for example, parish, mass, family school liaison worker, or FSLW, UDL, or Universal Design for Learning, EAL, English as Additional Language, shared language, and specialized staff. This presentation reflects an executive summary of the feedback. With respect to the presentation on our Catholic identity, school teams in their feedback highlighted community of belonging and visible lived faith as the most prominent themes. Many schools are striving to nurture welcoming communities where students feel accepted and valued, and to integrate faith deeply into daily practices through prayer, liturgy, and symbols as an example. Strengthening partnerships with local parishes and providing service and social justice opportunities were also frequently mentioned, ensuring faith is not just taught, but is also acted upon. Parents echoed the importance of an inclusive, faith-centered environment. They want their children in a school where gospel values are visibly practiced and where each child belongs, is safe, and respected. Some parents, especially those who may not be active in church, also stressed non-judgment. They valued that schools welcome all and allow children to explore faith at their own pace. Trustees, you may also recall that our student voice shared that the ideas of schools being welcoming and faith being active were important to them. In the area of optimal learning, school staffs believe having consistent evidence-based practices in every classroom will enhance the student experience by providing continuity and clarity as students progress. At the same time, there's a strong push for personalized learning through UDL, or Universal Design for Learning, and differentiation by tailoring instruction to meet students where they are so that every student can succeed. Respondents frequently mentioned incorporating hands-on, real-world learning to boost engagement and prepare students with practical skills. Continuous improvement through assessment, feedback, and data-informed instruction was another theme, albeit somewhat less prominent. Parents' top priorities align with staff. They value flexibility in teaching to fit their child's learning style, ensuring their children are both challenged and supported. They also appreciate consistency so that their expectations and tools don't widely differ by teacher or year, and clear communication of progress. Overall, both educators and parents recognize that teachers need support and training to achieve these optimal conditions, though parents tended to focus more on outcomes for their child than on teacher professional development. In the area of student well-being, across the board, respondents emphasized that mental health and well-being are foundational to the student experience. The most frequent theme was ensuring accessible mental health supports in schools. Many suggested every school should have a counselor or FSLW available. Trustees, you will also recall that this was a theme that we heard in our student voice. When we talked about student well-being, they spoke about the importance of having adults to connect with who are easy to access. Schools view themselves as a critical first point of contact for student mental health needs. Creating a culture where every student has a trusted adult and supportive relationships is another key idea. Repeated stories noted that when students feel safe and heard by at least one adult, they are more likely to thrive. Reducing stigma around mental health and encouraging students to ask for help was a strong theme from both staff and parents. And once again, destigmatization was a theme that our student voice shared as being very important to them. Parents are particularly concerned that supports are readily available and easily accessible. They expressed gratitude for school-based mental health initiatives, noting it gives them peace of mind to know their child can get help at school. They also want schools to partner with families, keeping parents informed and even educating parents to promote student well-being as a shared effort. In considering classroom complexity, schools highly value having specialized staff and resources, such as educational assistants, behavior specialists, and psychologists, to address high needs. Such supports not only help the students in need, but also assist teachers and thus benefit the whole class. There was much discussion about inclusive education versus appropriate placement. Ensuring inclusion is meaningful and supported. Educators noted that simply placing all students together isn't effective without proper supports. Some suggested thoughtful streaming or grouping can help each student feel successful. The themes that are reflected in classroom complexity for both groups, educators and parents, are reflective of the concerns that were shared in the Provincial Classroom Complexity Report. Parents echoed this in a nuanced way. They absolutely want every child supported, but also don't want the learning of others diluted. In fact, some parent feedback raised concerns about class sizes and the number of high-needs students per class, fearing that without limits or more support, teachers can't give average students enough attention. Teacher support and professional learning was acknowledged as critical. Teachers need training and manageable workloads to handle complexity. Parents generally assume that the division will equip teachers. A few explicitly mentioned that overwhelmed teachers need more help and that when staff are looked after, they will look after the kids. We also heard from our student voice that staff well-being was key for them to be able to support student well-being. I would now like to turn it back to Chief Superintendent Anderson for the recommendation.
Thank you very much, Executive Director McCauley, and for all those individuals that did present that evening. to set the stage for our families and really thanking our families for having their input and perspective provided in this report. And so, Madam Chair, our recommendation is that based on the evidence provided in the Community of School Councils What We Heard report, the Board of Trustees determines that the following quality indicators have been met as per Board Policy 12, Appendix B, relative to the current evaluation period. Quality indicator 8.1, 10.3, and 10.5.
Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent Anderson, and of course to you, Executive Director Macaulay, for leading this work. And of course to our board office and team for their contributions in making our November 18th COSC engagement evening a great success. It was an exceptional turnout, and as today's buzzword seems to be listen, that's exactly what you told us to do that night, when you reminded the board that our role was to listen, and in doing that, we were able to capture the voice of our families and identify what is important to them, which obviously was captured and was shared here today. And so the importance of this is that this work, of course, will continue to inform, shape our 2026 to 2029 division plan for continuous growth. And as this is a recommendation, and I do see Vice Chair Tuchansky in queue, I'll turn it over to her to please make this motion. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I make the motion that based on the evidence provided in the Community of School Councils What We Heard report, the Board of Trustees determines that the following quality indicators have been met as per Board Policy 12, Appendix B, relative to the current evaluation period, with the quality indicators as read.
Thank you very much. Do you wish to speak to your motion?
I sure do. I do want to thank Chief Superintendent Anderson, Executive Director, and of course, our extraordinary board office who made that evening, Community School Councils, such a meaningful success. And to our senior leadership team, thank you for the time and your preparation and care that you brought to the engagement. And to our principals who showed up during one of the busiest times of the school year, their presence spoke volumes about the value that they placed on the partnership and listening with our community. And our school councils, of course, and the advisory parents, we're so grateful that they stepped forward and took part in the evening. So 89 schools came, and it was extraordinary. That level of engagement was powerful. The feedback shared around our Catholic identity, learning, well-being in particular, classroom complexity was thoughtful, honest, and deeply rooted. And it was an amazing night. The presenters were extraordinary. You could have heard a pin drop. But then when they were finished, the noise and the busyness in the room of the parents who were so eager to speak and to have their voices heard was remarkable. And just going around from table to table of the schools in our area was stunning. A key theme, as you brought up, was staff and student well-being, and that was directly in line with our classroom complexity. And it was really interesting to see how some of the things that were learned by parents, you just couldn't plop things in and make it work. Staff were there to talk about it, and some of our senior leadership was remarkable. And then I've got some high schools, and even SROs were brought up, and the value that they bring to the schools and the safety and the partnerships that they have. So it was a really diverse, of course we stuck to the script, but every now and again, it varied, but in such meaningful conversations. So we're so grateful. This is what community looks like when everybody strives for the same purpose, when you put students, staff, and families first. So thank you. The work that you guys did was unbelievable, and it was seamless, and it was great, and I loved hearing every moment. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Tuchansky. So Trustee Engel, I see you next in queue. Did you want to speak? Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Superintendent Anderson and to Director Macaulay for the excellent presentation and how you put it together, and the fact that you had that meeting that evening. This was a really tricky year because we had a 3-week strike, as you probably haven't forgotten yet. And we had a new board, we had all our orientations, and we had our outside groups for associations meetings. And so thank you for putting this together and taking the load on yourself. I think it was really well done. I think that it really speaks to how much our parents want to be engaged. I really loved how excited they got over each of the items. And the themes were so the same at every table, and you captured them here. I just thank you for that. And I just wanted to know and thanks to St. Joe's for the lunch. People really liked it, me too. Also, I just wanted to ask, as soon as this motion is carried, will this be put on the website for parents to see what the outcome of their input was?
Madam Chair, through to Trustee Engel, the report is
it's on
already
already?
on
Okay, I
the
haven't seen
website under it's posted as a separate document on the board agenda page.
And I think that I'm going to encourage school councils when I visit them, that possibly they make this an agenda item on their school council meetings and discuss it further. Because although we did have 89 schools show up, and we did have some school councils that hadn't formed yet, and so this might be a good way of communicating it to all the parents. I'm going to recommend it to my school council chairs that this be an item on the agenda, and I'd be happy to come and hear further what they comment on. So thank you for the wonderful report and all the work you did in making that meeting timely and happen.
Thank you very much, Trustee Engel. Next in queue is Trustee Taber. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, I just want to really thank, first of all, the division for putting the evening together. It was well done, well put together, well run, clearly by the number of people in that room. It was well received. But I also want to thank the parents, the principals, and everybody in the division. Again, as a trustee, our primary goal is community engagement, I believe. And it was such an excellent way of hearing what our parents and our principals have to say. And on top of that, our student voice. I mean, I loved how you paired them together. You know, listening to what the students had to say, listening to the parents, and highlighting that this is a match. This is where people are overlapping. So I love that part. But again, it is so important to listen, and I thank you for those constant reminders. It's hard, but we did it. And it's great to know that we can close the loop, you know, being able to honor and acknowledge the time people took to come and sit with us and to talk to us and to be honest, to give that honest feedback. It was incredible. So I am excited to see where this is going to go. So I understand, you know, there's going to be lots of ways that we can use this within the division, but it's good knowledge when we're talking to the government, and it's good knowledge when we're talking to our just the community, because we have hard fact evidence now to say, look, this is what we are hearing. It's not just us, you know, secondhand or whatever. This is important to our teachers, our parents. So it's so great to be able to have these kind of words in our pocket at any time we can use it. So I appreciate everything that we've done to get here, and I'm excited to see where we're going to go next. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Taber. Next in queue is Trustee Mutala. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to follow up on what Trustee Taber, Turchansky, and Debbie said over there. And as trustees, you know that we are constantly out there trying to advocate. And now we know the most important things, which we've been saying for the last year or so, to help with teachers in the classroom with complexities and mental health issues for all staff and students. So we will continue to do that. And we just want to say a big thank you, because that evening was very special and it brought everybody together at the tail end of the work action. And the thing is, it's just positive information that we can use to put together for our 3-year plan for the next 3 years. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Excellent. And seeing no one else in queue, oh, yes, I do see Vice Chair, but no.
Just look for later.
Yes, however, I will turn it back to you. Seeing no one else in queue, should you wish to close your motion, Vice Chair Turchansky?
Thank you. I just want to reiterate, I really appreciated what Trustee Engel said about this being a piece of school councils going forward, because I think for those, there was a couple that were not able to be there, in fact, just the leadership in the school was there. So I think this would be really great. And to also then further what Trustee Taber often will say is, let's get it back out there so that they understand it wasn't just for nothing and we weren't just doing a busy work. Like, this is actually, there's something to it. So I actually really appreciated you saying that, because I think it's very important, and I would love to be a part of one of those meetings that can discuss it. But beyond that, it's extraordinary, and this definitely should be shared, because it was a phenomenal night. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Turchansky. And so at this time, seeing no one else in queue, we will proceed to call the vote. Thank you very much. As all trustees have voted and are in favor, for the record, we'll note that the motion is carried. We will now proceed to number 3 on the agenda, presentation and review of accountability report, 3.1 AI Steering Committee update, and back over to you, Chief Superintendent Anderson.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. As we endeavor to navigate the world of AI and its role in education, in October 2024, we struck a committee of leaders from our division who could support our vision and direction of AI's impact to teaching and learning for staff and students. This committee has been meeting regularly to study exciting opportunities, but also to be aware of some potential risks when using AI. And so today we have Superintendent Peterson and Director Nicole Lafreniere, who will provide more information in some of the work that they've been doing in the world of AI.
Thank you, Chief Superintendent Anderson, Madam Chair, and trustees. The use of artificial intelligence in education prompts significant questions, such as what should be taught, how teaching methods might change, the evolving role of teachers, and the social and ethical implications of artificial intelligence. Additionally, there are challenges to address, including concerns about educational equity and access. It is increasingly recognized that artificial intelligence could fundamentally transform the foundations of teaching, and learning. For our students to be prepared to enter the workforce upon graduation, we are responsible to ensure that we teach ethical use of artificial intelligence throughout the course of their learning journey. And this report that you received and the presentation here today will expand on that. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Director Lafreniere to share our presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, trustees, and Chief Superintendent Anderson. It's my pleasure to bring to you today an update on our AI journey in Edmonton Catholic Schools. As we begin to integrate these tools into our everyday work, whether at the division or school-based level, we'd like to underscore that our use of AI is grounded in its responsible, ethical, and informed use. As such, we draw inspiration from our faith in order to lead this work wisely. With this spirit of discernment and hope, our schools remain beacons of hope where AI illuminates the path to holiness and service, ever attuned to the Creator's design for intelligent, relational humanity. It's with this humble spirit that we approached our work as a steering committee, creating AI guidelines and developing the administrative procedure on AI with the goal towards improving humanity and education, not supplanting it. Our AI steering committee was established to ensure we considered AI from multiple perspectives. As such, the AI committee brought together leaders from every department in the division, as well as school-based leaders and learning consultants, in order to establish an administrative procedure that would guide the use of AI throughout the division, and would touch on all of our respective roles, so each staff member and student could situate themselves within the procedure. In order to do so, we had to begin with some research. ASBA provided significant guidance in terms of the creation of policy, and in addition, we drew upon the work that UNESCO has done in guiding policymakers. We also attended the Mission Collaborative Initiative Summit on Artificial Intelligence and the Church, hosted by the Catholic Archdiocese of Edmonton and Catholic partners across the province. This event brought together leaders in theology, health, education, social services, and technology to explore how artificial intelligence is shaping our world and how the Church can thoughtfully engage with the opportunities and challenges it presents. This event helped us learn how to approach AI from cultural, moral, and pastoral lenses so our implementation of AI could be grounded in our Catholic faith. And we also gathered examples from around the province as school divisions began to publish their administrative procedures. It is important to note that we are one of the first school divisions to implement an AP on artificial intelligence. Some of our key principles guiding our work include, as previously mentioned, our Catholic worldview, ethics, privacy, equity and inclusivity, and data security and protection. In particular, we reflected on human dignity and moral boundaries that accompany rapid technological advancement. We also needed to carefully think about the practicalities of an administrative procedure. What were the actual practicalities, the day in and day out use of AI, and how would we guide that? And we had to determine that for each user group. So our procedure is therefore organized in the following way. An introduction that links to our Catholicity, followed by what students would need to know and do, then teachers, principals, staff, and finally the division as a whole. When considering student use of AI, they will need to understand that they are responsible for the content they create. While we must teach them how to use it, we must also ensure to teach healthy habits and model ethical decision-making around its use. To be clear, students are responsible to maintain the highest levels of academic integrity and refrain from using AI tools for the purposes of bullying and harassment. At this point in time, I'd like to make clear that we do not have AI available for student use. We are currently in the process of creating lessons to integrate that student use across the curricula, and therefore we do not have approved AI tools at this time. In terms of teacher responsibilities, you'll note that one of the key elements is around academic integrity. This has been a huge conversation as the potential for cheating has been certainly front and center. Can AI help students circumvent their own learning? One of the points in the AP states that we will not be investing in software to detect cheating. Those tools have been demonstrated in research to be quite fallible. They're not particularly capable of detecting academic dishonesty accurately. And it's also important that we believe that teachers must grade must grade achievement and not behavior. Therefore, addressing issues of academic integrity begins before we begin instruction. We need to build in digital citizen lessons as we go. We need to put systems and structures in place ahead of time to prevent academic dishonesty rather than react to it. And we need to ensure we address one-on-one with students rather than reacting by assigning grades of 0. We do this by building teacher confidence in teaching students when and how to use AI. Lastly, while AI has great potential for reducing teacher workload, there is no replacement for human relationship and connection within teaching. Teachers must retain their professional judgment when creating lessons that align to curriculum and when assessing student work. These are not tasks that can be delegated to artificial intelligence. Principals are responsible for the staff and students in their building. They are to ensure that students and staff have fair and reasonable access to technology. While we're not, as I mentioned, at the point of approving AI tools for students, we do know that it is coming, and therefore principals need to adequately prepare for that eventuality. Further to this, principals are responsible for facilitating professional learning. When tools are approved, principals are also responsible for ensuring that expectations are communicated to students and families. While we don't have explicit outcomes for AI or technology within the curriculum, it is certainly an expectation that tools are embedded within teaching and learning, so we are preparing students for their future world. In so doing, principals also work with teachers to ensure students know how to be excellent digital citizens, knowing how to engage with technology in a way that is ethical and responsible. All staff, whether school-based or division-based, have the responsibility of excellent digital citizenship with AI tools. Our new procedure outlines staff accountabilities as they relate to the responsible use agreement and ensuring accuracy of information. We must also ensure that we do not disclose any confidential or division data in using these tools. All staff must use AI with an eye towards copyright and fair use, using proper citation when incorporating existing works. It's important that all staff maintain full compliance with data security protocols and commit to professional learning so that we all have proficiency in working with these tools. At the division level, we provide training, resources, and ongoing supports. We also ensure the privacy rights of students and staff are upheld, and we ensure the security of our data. We also evaluate tools for alignment with legislation, administrative procedures, ethical principles, and educational reasons. This is an ongoing collaboration between several departments, including technology services, division monitoring, and learning services. As new software emerges, we're working on an ongoing basis to review these tools according to stringent criteria before approving them for use within the division. Key to our implementation plan is that we don't want to promote shortcuts. We want to enhance critical thinking through metacognitive reflection and strategic tool use. So as an example, we're working with technology services to build a custom agent that will help teachers with EAL benchmarking. It came to our attention that some staff created prompts for AI to help them, but those prompts resulted in inconsistencies in assessment. So now we're working with technology services to create a tool that will help teachers accurately assess work quickly. And by building the tool, we're hoping to take away some of the cognitive load so teachers can better focus on improving their feedback to students and use information for programming. In reducing busy work in one area, we can drive the change we want to see, which is programming and universal design for our English as additional language learners. That brings us to the end of the presentation today. We are happy to take any questions.
So at this time, I'd like to turn it back to Chief Superintendent Anderson for the recommendation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Superintendent Peterson, Director Lafreniere, and I noticed also Manager Tellerico was listed there as behind the scenes providing support, and to the remaining committee members. There's a lot of work and it's ongoing. It's changing all the time. It's a topic that we will continue to explore across many levels, and even across different divisions. We're touching base and finding ways to see how we are supporting our staff and students. And so our recommendation is that the Board of Trustees determines that the following quality indicators have been met as per Board Policy 12, Appendix B, relative to the current evaluation period. Quality Indicator 1.1, 3.1, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, 6.1, and 8.3.
Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent Anderson, and of course, Superintendent Peterson, and then Director Lafreniere for presenting today. But I was going to say, but you were also one of the resource staff that was identified in the report. So once again, for the work in that area. And of course, Chief Superintendent Anderson already referenced Manager Tellerico, who's also here with us today. And of course, the entire team. This is an excellent report and presentation. But what's truly mind-boggling is that just as you're speaking, it changes like within minutes. And I'm thinking, how do you even keep up? And so kudos to all of you. I'm glad you're doing the work and not me. That being said, today's update on how AI is being used to support teaching and learning highlights not only the thoughtful work, the comprehensive, robust work that's being done through each and every one of you. It provides assurance, which is extremely important, that we are exercising our responsibility to ensure that students are, in fact, being prepared for the future, thus bringing awareness, and you've said it time and time again throughout the presentation, the ethical uses of AI. And so this careful and responsible approach that our division is taking, you need to be applauded. And of course, we do this to support, and again, more buzzwords that we're using across the division, the optimal teaching and learning that is taking place. We are proud. We are extremely proud of the work that's being done. And I listened very intently when you said that first, AP, I heard all of that, so kudos to you for that as well. And again, for establishing a steering committee, extremely important. And again, the administrative procedure for me was huge. And so on behalf of the board, I wish to applaud you for your diligence in continuing to take a very careful and responsible approach to AI so that we remain aligned with our Catholic values. And as this is a motion, and I do see Trustee Ingle in queue, I will turn it to her to please make this motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the Board of Trustees determines that the following quality indicators have been met as per Board Policy 12, Appendix B, relative to the current evaluation period, QI 1.1, 3.1, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, 6.1, and 8.3.
Thank you very much. Trustee Engel, do you wish to speak to your motion?
I really do. I want to start by thanking Chief Superintendent Anderson for making this a priority, and I want to really thank Nicole and Laffertine, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and Superintendent Terry Peterson for generating this report that we got. It was excellent, and it gives us a real sense of security, knowing where we're heading. And I think what I like the best about it is when you think of intelligence, almost any kind of intelligence can be used for good or evil. And I mean, that's sort of the premise of what intelligence is. And so what drew my attention the most is the key themes that you worked on as a committee, because they're all Catholic worldview, ethical considerations, privacy, equity and inclusivity, data security and protection. So all of those would ensure that AI is used for the good of society and not for the evil intent. And I think that's what worries everybody out there, is what bad can happen from it, because every intelligence has that flip side. I was also really pleased to see that you've partnered with ASBA, UNESCO, that you've gone to other school divisions, and I wasn't surprised to know that you're a leader in going forward with this and creating an administrative policy or regulation to go with AI. I think it's really exciting. And the fact that you connected with the church, all these partners, the fact that you have made decisions like we're not going to invest a whole bunch of money in something like a scanner to see if people use AI, you're ahead of your time, because now they're saying those don't work. So it's just really nice with all the chatter out there about AI at different meetings where you meet your colleagues, when you talk to other people that are governing bodies of school boards. AI is this big, and it's just really refreshing to get this kind of detail in a report, and the kind of work you've done for our Catholic education piece, the way you've met with the church. I think it's just absolutely incredible. And the only question I have, and I guess I'm just trying to think of how it would we, when we make, I don't know, is the government going to be involved in this? Is this going to be left to every school board? But you touched on at some point, we're going to have AI resources for everyone. Like now you're working with AI resources to teachers, and you picked a provider. Like that's all excellent. And then you talked about at some point, how is this going to be used in education and curriculum? And I'm thinking when we started 21st century learning, that people are still talking about, and we're in 2027. But we've moved ahead in so many areas. How do you see this moving forward? Do you see the government taking the lead, innovative school boards taking the lead? Because that part of curriculum is very interesting, of how we're going to, teach kids how to use this. But great work.
Madam Chair, to Trustee Engel, I'll take a stab at this, and then I certainly will pass it over to Director Lafreniere. But within Alberta, we have the CAS organization that works obviously collaboratively with metros and other divisions within the province, but also works very much in partnership with Alberta Education. There's a very good relationship there. And so as leaders come together in our CAS conferences and our presentations, we also have the opportunity to engage with government, with ministry, and those engagements help to inform their next steps in supporting school divisions in this journey with artificial intelligence. As you say, it's fairly uncharted territory. It's changing rapidly, but it is definitely a partnership, and our chief superintendents across the province also have that connection to say this is an advocacy piece and we need support with that if it comes to that. So I think there's room for government to be involved and to support us in the implementation of AI in an ethical, responsible way. But do we have something concrete at this time from government officials? Not yet. And I say yet because I think there will be potential for that.
Thank you. As curriculum also continues to evolve, so too will we start to see some outcomes that will touch on some of these pieces and new technologies. For example, in elementary science, we now have a whole outcome centered around computer programming, and that's new and a little bit different. So I can predict that as we start to see that curriculum move up through the grades, we may start to see other pieces. We also have been engaging with some other bodies, including Alberta Machine Learning Institute. We have a partnership with them. We also are working with the University of Alberta Faculty of Education. We have a research project with them as well to look at how best can we integrate this. When we think about computers, we don't really teach computers anymore. We just use them through our everyday work. And I think that's where we're going to be headed in terms of AI, is that we're not going to teach it per se as an outcome. It's simply going to be another tool in our toolkit. And so it's making sure that teachers are comfortable and able to incorporate it within their everyday work.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much for making the motion, as well as Trustee Engel. And will open it up to the board now, and I do see Trustee Fiorello in queue. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Some of that answered already some of my questions about getting to that endpoint. I did want to just share a few thoughts. I appreciate really the approach of the responsibilities, because there's a lot of ownership of use when people get into AI and how they use it and what they choose to use it for. And I'm confident that your rollout of the use with staff and the encouragement of fact-checking and the use of the tool will be absolutely fantastic. Of course, as a parent, my concern comes with okay, the little ones using it, and as they use it through and the development of the critical thinking skills to be able to use it, or the outcomes of it in the appropriate way. And not only in their schoolwork, but at home, when they go home, are they going to be able to have those critical skills to whatever they're putting into it, to know what's coming out, whether or not that's useful information. And I just wanted to share a brief story. I was chatting this week actually with a pediatrician at the Stollery, and she was telling me how initially she was very excited about this AI tool that came out because it was integrated fully into PubMed. So often AI is known for not creating or not even using resources or coming up with the sources that it uses. So she was thrilled that there was this one that was purely connected to PubMed, but soon realized after looking at the results, because obviously she has expertise in her areas, that even those results she couldn't use in her practice because AI's ability to analyze those results was skewed from how she wanted to use them. And so it was just interesting that someone even at that level who was really keen about it had to take a step back. And so she's using it in a different way now, and it still has a function. So it was just interesting to kind of even see it in that lens. So I just wanted to wish you all the best in navigating this and getting to that outcome, which I appreciate your perspective on it and some of the things that you've already outlined in getting there. So thank you so much for this work.
Thank you very much, Trustee Fiorello. And next in queue is Trustee Pellet. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was sort of following on the lines of questioning as Trustee Fiorello. I was just wondering if we have any structures in place to monitor, review, revise the AI practices as it does start to filter out to our students. But then again, bringing those home, families will also be using them. So I'm just wondering what structures or do we have anything in place just yet as this is evolving? And it's definitely hard to keep up with because it does change so drastically in such short times. You think you have something in place, and then by the time you implement that, it's already changed. So just wondering what avenue you'll be able to go down to that in developing some sort of practices.
Madam Chair, to Trustee Pellick, yes, we do have structures in place currently for all digital tools in general that go through a cycle of review. And that cycle of review comes through a consultant, so a teacher lens, a learning and planning lens, and then also through our div monitoring, so the privacy lens, and then of course through tech services as well for the security lens. And so there is that structure in place. At this point, we do not have AI tools accessible to students, but as we engage and learn more and look at possibilities, those same processes are going to need to be reinforced. And so we're always on this cycle of reviewing, checking back, making sure what we approved last year is still secure, safe, and appropriate this year. And so it's a big task, but when we make careful decisions at the beginning, then those reviews certainly are less labor intensive. But if you have anything else to add to that, Director Lafreniere?
I'd just say that check and balance is one of the reasons why we have yet to approve for students, because we need to feel confident that we are ready to take that step. And so we have some tools right now specifically for teachers, and we're getting more and more requests because, of course, we're seeing an explosion of those tools being available. But we're also asking people to be patient as we build this process out further.
If I may, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
I guess with the availability, with the internet and Google and that sort of thing, I'm pretty sure most of our junior high and high school students are already on the chat GBT and whatever else is available. So is there any guidelines or anything that are being followed for the savvy, technology hungry students that we have?
Madam Chair, to Trustee Pellick. So at this time, for example, ChatGPT, to use your example, Edmonton Catholic, in terms of our staff, is using the platform Copilot, right? So the accessibility to that particular agent is not available to us. I think what we need to ensure is that within our teaching environment, that we're taking opportunities to educate the students in the moment, though. You're right. They have access at their fingertips. Despite the fact that we don't have it approved, it's not saying that they're not using it elsewhere. But it's that teachable moment, those conversations in those critical moments too, where we talk about responsible use, careful use, being a critical thinker, discerning what you're seeing. Is that usable? Is that accurate? And I think those conversations and those teachable moments really tie well into our optimal learning framework, what we want our ECSD graduates to leave ECSD with, and the conditions that we're promoting within our classroom. So despite the fact that we don't have any student-approved tools, do we have our head in the sand that they're not accessing? No, but we have those conversations. We just like at any moment in time, we use our classroom as an opportunity to talk about AI not replacing the moral and ethical judgment that we need to live out our life with, et cetera.
I would just add that the LEAP guidelines that were included with the report also are student-facing as well. And so we have student and family resources that we are currently building around that. So we do have some resources that we are building that we plan on releasing to students and families as we build out these resources. So that is definitely in the works as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I do see Vice Chair Tuchansky in queue. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Oh, my apologies. Go ahead, please.
No, I'm sure they want to hear what I have to say. I'm so sorry. This was an extraordinary presentation, and I found myself turfing what I was going to say and creating this scribbly gobbledygook. So I have a grade 12 student, of course, and I appreciate your discussion on misuse and mismanagement of this tool. But again, it's a teaching moment, and the fact that we have to use it. It's like cell phones. When they came out, hey, good grief, my kid was, staring at it all over the place, but it's a tool. This is no different. Her father uses Copilot. That's a reality in our family, in our household. So, you know, she's learned from him, and I'm certain that a lot of other students are in the similar boat, that it's a tool. It's not what creates her essays or a variety of things. And because as we know now, you know, originally the integrity of the data seemed like it was pretty good, but now we're finding, you know, garbage in, garbage out too. So you have to really, you know, if you're not cautious and you don't use it as a tool that self-corrects or self-manages or, you know, manages my text when I fire it off in the heat of the moment, you know, it's pretty obvious that you're using an AI tool. So like everything else, I think it's a real time saver when it is. I can tell you if I was a teacher, I'd be using this thing for report cards like nobody's business. Because I can't imagine having to recreate Johnny is a great student 45 different times, right? So I love the fact that there is a reality to it. And how do we manage and work this reality and use it to free up time and to make it something that can go forward, because you're right, it's not going away. So, man, I'll tell you, I appreciate all you do, and it is a shared partnership between, you know, the families, students, and our staff. Like it is it. So I love the fact in all of your little pieces how you spoke that it was, you know, teaching and misuses out there. You just, good grief, you can't block it. These kids can figure out how to get on Facebook in school. So anyway, thank you. This was extraordinary.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Jachansky. And next in queue is Trustee Tiber. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I wasn't going to say anything, but I did want to make like one thing that really stood out for me is I appreciate that we're not just shutting it down. We're not just looking at it and saying, you know what, it's too big, it's not something that's going to stick around or whatnot. Because when we're looking at our students, and obviously when they go into the workplace, they will be using AI, just like we are using Google today. And I think we were at one of the sessions that we had here a little while ago, and I popped into one on technology, and they were talking about this. And they're like, this isn't new. You know, we've been using Google and the internet for so long that this is just one more step in evolution, basically. So I think it's a great, and again, just like we talked back then, we're going to talk about it again, and we're going to listen about critical thinking skills and logic and ways that we have to not just use it as the thing, it's a part of the thing that we are working towards. And, you know, I really think that it'll be like, you know, we're able to use it in a way that is responsible and just like we have in the past. So I appreciate all the work that you do in it. And I'm a big fan of AI. Like I do believe in it. I love it. I love the things that it can do. Just like I loved Google when it first came out. How old am I? Anyways, I do appreciate that. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you very much. Not as old as me. But that being
You
said,
said it, not me.
but that being said, I think you captured everyone's attention when you said teaching moment. And that's clearly what our staff is doing with our students. And so thank you for keeping it at the forefront and always using that as a reminder for all of us. Now, I don't see anyone else in queue, so Trustee Ingle, I will turn it back to you should you wish to close your motion at this time.
I do.
I'll get you to put yourself in queue if I may. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I didn't, but I could. If I check this presentation as for a review out of 5 on AI, I think you get 5.
Thank you very much, and that was her closing statement. And so, once again, having heard Trustee Ingle's great closing remarks, we will now call the vote. And once again, as all trustees have voted and are in support, we'll note for the record that the motion is carried. Thank you. We will now move on to our next exciting agenda item, which is 3.2 on the agenda, faith formation for students and staff, and we'll turn it back over to you, Chief Superintendent Anderson.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So having just heard earlier from the cost report that our families and administration really emphasize the importance of our Catholic identity, the next report highlights how faith formation is actively lived out to support our mission as a Catholic division. And so I will turn it over to Superintendent Fian to begin.
Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent Anderson, Board Chair, Trustees. Thank you for the opportunity to share this report with you today. The mission of the division is to provide Catholic education that inspires students to learn and prepares them to live fully and serve God in one another with integrity and purpose. With the support of proper faith formation, students and staff help us actively live out our mission. Their growth, leadership, and daily example continuously strengthen our Catholic identity of the whole division and renew our shared capacity to live in that mission in meaningful ways. Through the work of the division chaplains, the lay chaplains, religious education consultants, and other faith-formed staff, the division's support, and the faith-formed leaders who are academically capable, spiritually grounded, and confident in their Catholic identity. The overarching aim is to form young people who participate meaningfully in the life of the Church and contribute generously in the wider world. Faith formation of our students and staff are at the heart of this work, since their formation, leadership, and daily commitment allow the division to live this mission with clarity and authenticity and hope. So along with our manager of religious education services and one of our division chaplains, Father Julian, I'm very happy to be able to share with you today our faith formation for students and staff report for 25-26 school year. Religious education, as stated, is at the heart of our Catholic mission, and it's more than just curriculum. It's about forming students and staff in their faith so that they can live with integrity and purpose. Through prayer, liturgy, service, and strong role models, religious education helps nurture our Catholic identity across the school division.
Faith formation is a holistic process rooted in Catholic teaching, combining evangelization, catechesis, and community life. The 5 marks of Catholic school identity guide our leaders in the 5 marks of a Catholic leader, ensuring that Catholic education permeates all aspects of school life. The professional development sessions in this area emphasize dignity, advocacy, faith integration, gospel witness, and community. Our recent retreat on January the 8th with Archbishop Michael Miller reinforced these principles and invited us to explore our understanding of the 5 marks, initiating further conversation on their implementation in our school division. We understand that the Eucharist is the source and summit of our faith, and for us at Edmonton Catholic Schools, the heart of our faith formation and school life. The opening school Mass brings all staff together, Catholic and non-Catholic, for spiritual renewal and unity. This celebration reaffirms our vocation, models faith leadership, and strengthens Christ-centered values that guide our work throughout the school year. Faith Development Day is a cornerstone of our staff formation, offering time for prayer, Eucharist, and learning. This year's theme of hope reminds us to trust in God's promises and live with confidence in His presence. Gathering as a community strengthens our mission and equips us to accompany students on their faith journeys.
The Father Michael Moreau Youth Faith Day provides grade 8 students with a very powerful encounter with Christ through the Eucharist and inspiring presentations. This year's theme, Serve Like a Superhero, challenges students to see their talents as gifts for serving others, reminding them that small acts of kindness and justice are true expressions of faith and leadership. Father Michael Moreau Youth Faith Day is a key event for our grade 8 students in their journey with Edmonton Catholic Schools. Held March 18th through to 25th at St. Charles Church, the activities will include Mass and an engaging presentation by Jesse Manibusan. On the screen, you'll see the 6 days in March that each of our schools will be attending Father Michael Moreau Youth Faith Day. And the celebration will start at approximately 9:15 a.m. through to 1:30 p.m. with a snack or lunch being provided with students at the midpoint, and will include both representatives from schools, administration, teachers, trustees, and senior administration at every event. It's very exciting. The school-home parish partnership is also essential for consistent faith formation. Rooted in the 5 marks, it creates a unified environment where faith is taught and lived. Examples include gatherings with parish priests and the strong collaboration witnessed in the St. Teresa family of schools, where staff attend parish-led formation sessions and priests support the sacramental preparation of our students. External partnerships also enrich our faith formation. Key partners include the Edmonton Archdiocese, Ukrainian Eparchy, the ACSTA, Grace, and the Council of Catholic School Superintendents, amongst others. These relationships provide spiritual leadership and cultural engagement. A recent example is our very collaborative and active work with the Ukrainian Eparchy in supporting its work in the development of their new K-12 religious education resources with the ECSD Ukrainian teachers piloting, as well as in support with our division chaplain, Father Julian, as well, and consulting on the many lessons that are going to be brought forward into our classrooms.
We understand that faith formation depends on strong curriculum, as well as leadership. Our division uses Growing in Faith, Growing in Christ, the RE program approved by the bishops and rooted in Scripture, the Catechism, and the General Directory for Catechesis. It clearly articulates Catholic teachings and includes faith formation sections for teachers in every unit. At the junior and senior high levels, we continue with the Be With Me religious education program for grade 9 and the updated Religion program of studies for high school. In the fall of 2026, we will introduce the new Pearson grade 9 religion program, as well as the Blessed and Beloved Christian Family Life program starting in grade 1. Our religious education consultants provide professional development in person and on teams to help teachers implement the RE program of studies. This work aligns with Mark 3, animated by a faith-infused curriculum, ensuring faith permeates all learning. The RE consultants also support teachers with strategies like inquiry-based learning, reflection, and prayer, creating cross-curricular lessons, and showing faith integration with religion, math, and science, for example. They also collaborate with the lay chaplains and learning services to connect curriculum with liturgical seasons, social justice, and whole school experiences like liturgies and retreats. These efforts build teacher confidence and strengthen Catholic identity across classrooms.
Our division chaplains, Father Julian and Father Glenn, provide staff and students with a strong theological foundation and consistent spiritual presence across our schools. They support liturgy, prayer, moral development, Catholic identity, and missionary outreach, helping to connect our schools with local parishes. Their partnership with staff strengthens evangelization and supports a vibrant and authentic Catholic culture in our schools. Our chaplains extend their ministry also through our digital resources and that support faith formation across the division. They create virtual liturgies, prayer videos, reflections, and mini homilies, all aligned with the liturgical calendar and the religious education curriculum. These materials make formation accessible and engage students and staff across all grades. The Faith Alive page on our public website further supports this work by offering families with online resources such as Little Liturgies by Father Glenn, Reflections with Father Julian, social justice links, the division prayer, and seasonal newsletters. This year, The Take and Eat video series, created by Father Glenn and produced by our very own Patrick Kelly, received the Coupe de Coeur Award at the 2025 Bravo Awards, highlighting the impact that digital tools can have in supporting faith at home and at school. Had to give a little shout out there.
Our division chaplains, Father Glenn and Father Julian, support ongoing formation for lay chaplains through regular meetings shaped by the 5 marks of Catholic school identity. Each gathering begins with Eucharist, scripture, and theological reflection, grounding chaplaincy work in Christ-centered ministry. Lay chaplains receive support in planning liturgies, providing pastoral care, and creating opportunities for meaningful student involvement in prayer, service, and leadership. The chaplain meetings also build shared approaches across the division, ensuring consistent and compassionate responses to student needs while respecting each school's context. To speak more about the impact of lay chaplaincy across our division, I welcome Father Julian to share his experiences of working and collaborating alongside our staff.
The Catholic Church often describes herself as breathing with 2 lungs. Saint John Paul II said the Church must breathe with her 2 lungs, East and the West. Both are fully Catholic, both are ancient, and both are needed for the Church to breathe deeply and fully. In the Western Church, which most of our students know, we often emphasize structure, clarity, teaching, and moral formation. In the Eastern Catholic churches, there's a powerful emphasis on mystery, on beauty, silence, and encounter with God. One lung teaches us how to think the faith, the other teaches us how to experience the faith. When one lung is ignored, the whole body struggles. This is exactly why the formation of school chaplains matters. I once heard a teacher chaplain who for the first time in her life walked into an Eastern Catholic church, St. George's Ukrainian Catholic Church in Edmonton. She expected something familiar. Instead, she stopped in her tracks. The icons covered the walls. The incense filled the air. The singing surrounded her. She said she felt small in the best possible way, aware that God was present and that she was standing on holy ground. She didn't learn a lesson that day from the textbook. She encountered God with her whole being. Our students need that kind of encounter. We teach the curriculum. Chaplains help students breathe the faith through prayer, presence, listening, and wonder. A well-formed chaplain helps a school breathe with both lungs, teaching the faith clearly while also opening hearts to mystery, reverence, and awe. If we want students who don't just know about God, but can recognize His presence, then chaplains are not an extra. They are truly essential. They help our schools become not just places of learning, but places of encounter, where the Church breathes fully and where young people learn how to breathe with the Church.
By integrating faith with learning, Edmonton Catholic Schools creates opportunities where students can encounter God, deepen their understanding, and live out the values of compassion, justice, and service. Our work in religious education services continues to focus on strong curriculum, meaningful faith formation, and supports for staff that ensure faith is actively permeated throughout all areas of our schools. Looking ahead, the division is committed to strengthening this mission by continuing to invest in faith formation and building staff capacity. With prayer and purpose, we'll keep growing together in faith, witnessing the transformative power of Catholic education for generations to come. And with that, I would like to return it back to Chief Superintendent Anderson.
Thank you, Superintendent Fian, Manager Tellerico, Father Julian, and the entire religious education team for your work in ensuring that our faith is actively lived out and that we honor our commitment to live out our division mission in meaningful ways every day. And so our recommendation, Madam Chair, is that based on the evidence provided in Faith Formation for Students and Staff report, the Board of Trustees determines that the following quality indicators have been met as per Board Policy 12, Appendix B, relative to the current evaluation period. Quality Indicator 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 5.3, and 5.4.
Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent Anderson, Superintendent Fian, Manager Tallarico, Division Chaplain Father Julian, and of course our religious education team. I do see you over there. Now, I will forever remember the remarkable analogy of the two lungs. Like, I am going to use that in whichever way I can. And as you were speaking, all I could think about is, regardless of which school you walk into, in whatever quadrant of the city, whatever ward you walk into, you can feel the permeation of our faith. And the part that resonates the most is, so just last week, Trustee Pellick and I were at St. Alphonsus in there, and I don't know, Trustee Pellick, if you noticed, but there was a young student sitting at the top of the stairs and was trying to get our attention, just sitting there very quietly. And as soon as we made eye contact, she said, "Hi." And then we went over to, we were at St. Timothy's the other day celebrating a 50th anniversary, and once again, those children, the kindness, the compassion, they see visitors in their school and they are just, they have open hearts and minds, and they are just so receptive and so kind and compassionate to their peers and, of course, to anybody who comes into their schools. And so for this, we are just so grateful for everything that happens, which starts through all of you, and then, of course, that filters into our schools with our staff. Now, I do have to say this again. I mentioned earlier that yesterday we had the privilege of meeting with our Student Voice team, and we were reflecting on the joys and of course, the responsibility of being a Catholic educator, but as well as the importance of our mission. And in one of the presentations, there was discussion of Catholic social teaching and our Catholic identity as a community of belonging. That shapes, of course, our vision of calling students to a faith-filled life of service, promoting the kindness and the compassion that we, as the board, see day in and day out when we go into our schools. And so what does all of this do? Well, it's a reminder for all of us that it allows us to recognize our place within God's plan to serving a broader community. And so once again, hearing reports like this reminds us this is who we are, right? And it's just with such joy in our hearts that we're able to commend the work that all of you do, even though you had to stay here the whole time, Father Julian. I know you're usually just here for the opening prayer. But that being said, commendations to all of you for an exemplary report and presentation that affirms the centrality of our education to the mission of our schools. And you've indicated, you've said it all, from opening Mass to, of course, to our Father Michael Moreau Youth Day, a day that continues to inspire not just our students, but our staff and, of course, our board. Like, we love coming, and we certainly hope that we get invited because we're going to come anyway. But that being said, thank you. Thank you to all of you. And this is a motion, and so I will turn it to Vice Chair Tuchansky to please make this motion. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that based on the evidence provided in Faith Formation for Students and Staff report, the Board of Trustees determines that the following quality indicators have been met as referenced as per Board Policy 12, Appendix B, relative to the current evaluation period.
Do you wish to speak to your motion?
I sure do. Thank you very much for this extraordinary presentation. Religious education and faith formation are truly at the heart of who we are as a Catholic school division. They are not an add-on to our work or our day. It is who we are and the foundation that shapes our students, staff, and our communities in such a deep and meaningful way. I want to express my sincere gratitude to our Chief Superintendent and our extraordinary staff and you guys who live out this mission every single day. Our division chaplains, our school chaplains, our religious education department, our consultants, and our remarkable staff and school leaders. Their commitment and witness to our faith ensure that Catholic identity is not just preserved, but actively lived in our classroom, in our hallways, and in our communities. And the amount of opportunities that we have as a staff to share and enhance our faith as a division is remarkable. And I'm so grateful to be able to grow my own faith with my colleagues and each and every one of us on staff. I'm also grateful that our religious education department, our division chaplains, consultants, and chief superintendent show up and represent our division at so many external faith events, such as our prayer breakfasts and our recent new Archbishop's installation. These events are so critical to engage with our greater faith community. And because of your work, our students are not only academically capable, but spiritually grounded. Young children who understand what it means to learn and to pray together. Our students are hungry to live the lives of service, compassion, kindness, and social justice. Every time I see them in school liturgies, follow Mike Murrow faith days, and at church with their schools, they are reverent, they are focused, and they are so joyful to be there. They love listening to our parish priests and our deacons, and it is amazing to hear how much our church leaders enjoy being with our students. And of course, we know that our students have truly learned this from our remarkable division chaplains. They are so accessible to our schools and our students, and it is just a gift to all of us. So thank you for nurturing spaces where our students and our staff can encounter God, grow in our faith, and come to understand our place in God's plan and the students' responsibility to the wider world. Your dedication strengthens our missions, renews our hope, and continues to form graduates who live a faithful life that is authentic, transformative, and deeply rooted in our Catholic tradition. Thank you for all you do and for truly living our faith and showing us how to enhance ours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Tuchansky. Next in queue is Trustee Mutala. Go ahead.
Thank you. And thank you, Trustee Truchansky, for that was wonderful. I just have a couple things I have to add, and I love the analogy of the two lungs. I could use some help with my lungs a little bit today, but I'm very grateful because last night when we were at Student Voice, there was a young girl we were sharing our faith journeys, and she said that she came to Edmonton Catholic in grade 5, but somebody gave her a Bible that was left over from grade 4 because she did not have one. And she said she's in grade 12 now, and she still uses that Bible to this day. So that was very emotional for me to see that because we do the Bible ceremonies every year in grade 4. Another thing is I'm grateful that finally grade 9 religion program is going to be complete because I was around way back when we started kindergarten. No, not kindergarten, grade 1, the first few years. I want to say thank you to Father Julian and Father Glenn for being everywhere in the schools because wherever we go, you guys are like superstars that come out there and the kids love you and you permeate the faith for them. Another thing is to the whole religion department, thank you for the support you give to our staff and to the students. I'm so grateful because I used to be a religious consultant and I know how important it is because some of them are not in the same area or faith journey that other ones are on, so they need that little bit of help. And I truly believe our new religion program and curriculum will help them because there's so much good theology in there. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you very much, Trustee Mutala. You can see the authenticity and the passion that you have, and we know that you were a religion consultant, and I can see the emotion in you. So, and so thank you. You've made her day. And so next in queue is Trustee Pellick. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to also say thank you so much for all that you do and how this is so embedded in all of our students and staff. And you'd mentioned that the grade 9 program is finally on its way. So I'm just wondering what the plans might be for high school, for our grades 10, 11, and 12. For myself personally, my youngest to my eldest, there's a bit of a 18-year span. And some of that same curriculum that the eldest had, the youngest is still seeing. So it's still relevant and still important, but times have changed. And I'm just wondering when we're going to sort of bring that up to date.
Thank you very much. Chair Palazzo, through to Trustee Pellick. These discussions have been ongoing, and in particular last year amongst the Catholic school superintendents of Alberta. The high school curriculum are locally developed courses, and I was actually rather pleased to learn, because it wasn't knowledge that I had previous, that Edmonton Catholic took a lead role in the creation of the courses that are used across the province. So again, thank you very much for your role in that, Manager Tallarico. And as such, when taking a look at revising the high school programming, there is a network, or religious education network, as well as a lead that has individuals from different school divisions that are looking at this curriculum. I wish to say that there was more active work happening, but the focus right now has been placed on the implementation of the grade 9 curriculum. But this work did start in conversation and with names of individuals from a variety of the Catholic school divisions to be put together to explore where we go from here to update the locally developed courses.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next in queue is Trustee Ingle. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I'm going to steal a line from Superintendent Bien. The East Catholic religion was not a knowledge that I had previous to becoming a trustee. Father Stephen Wachikowski was our chaplain at the time. And when you told the story of the young teacher in the Ukrainian Catholic Cathedral, I actually got goosebumps, because that's exactly how I felt. And I got to say that I left wanting to move east. I thought it was so beautiful. So I really thank you for the way you shared. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful analogy with We Breathe with Two Lungs. And I'm so grateful for the participation of the Eastern Catholic Church in our school division. It's been powerful over the years. So I thank all of the religious education department, the curriculum you're now working on, and Father Julian for being a chaplain alongside Father Glenn. So I wanted to say that right out of the gate. The other thing I wanted to just sort of say is, when we talk about the top 85 employers, and you listen to how you talk about our faith, I think the two are fairly tied in the case of Edmonton Catholic Schools. You did just an absolute incredible job of the presentation. I wish I had questions, because I like listening to you speak and I don't want it to end, but I can't think of any questions specific to the presentation or the work you do. I'm just grateful for it. I'm grateful for, I guess what I would like to say is I'm grateful for Father Julian and Father Glenn in my own faith journey, and for all of you in my own faith journey. And I know that we just went through an election, and it's not an uncommon question for people to ask, what's your favorite part about serving as a trustee? And my answer hasn't changed since the first time I was successful in getting this gig. And that is the faith formation I've received, the people I have met that never would have crossed my path if I would have been in my community church and doing what I had done for, up until that time, 40 years. So the richness of the people I've met, the archbishops I've worked with and served with over the years, yourself, Father Glenn, all of you in religious education, it just continues to build my own personal faith journey. And I see that happening for all of us and our students. And I was just so grateful that I could become a part of this. So thank you for everything you do.
Well, thank you very much. Oh, sorry,
Trustee
go ahead.
Matula, I didn't think that I could say much after your very beautiful comments, but I managed.
You both did well. Thank you very much. Next in queue is Trustee Tiber. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I agree, this is amazing. And I think that we're all on a faith journey. And just like AI, faith is constantly evolving. Like the personal faith is always evolving. We learn, we listen, we change. And we are all on a different path. No two people are at the same spot at the same time. And I find it so hard to hear when I hear that our schools aren't Catholic or our teachers aren't Catholic enough. And it makes me cringe. And I want to say that this coming together all in one spot, it provides the evidence, and it provides showcasing and reaffirming that we are committed to publicly funded Catholic education in Edmonton Catholic schools. I had to say that. We are a faith community and we journey together, and we are delivering our mission, whether it's students, teachers, principals, staff, entire division, everybody in this room, the community that we come in contact every day, like was just mentioned, because we are delivering our mission to learn together, to live together, and to pray together as children of God. So I find that this report is probably the most important because it brings everything that we are together, because we are educating our students, but we are doing it in a responsible way to make sure that our mission is being accomplished. So thank you for all the work you do. I know it's not done. I know there's more curriculum I hear is coming out, but I do think that it is something that we have to always talk about, and it has to be something that is a journey. It's not just one spot, it's a journey. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Tiber. Next in queue is Trustee Fiorello. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was wonderful. To Trustee Ingles' point about the Eastern Catholic Church, I remember when I was in schools, we did a field trip to one of the Ukrainian Catholic churches. I don't know if that's still a thing or a thing that can be brought back, but it was very memorable and it was beautiful. And kind of on that same thread, I have just a question about, you guys have made so many amazing digital resources, and I'm wondering how, I know we share them on social media sometimes, but how we're getting that out to the parents. I know when my daughter started, I consider myself a pretty engaged parent, and it took me over a year and a bit before I even knew they existed. And speaking with other parents, I was like, hey, did you guys know about these? And they didn't either. And I was like, oh, I wish they did, because they're amazing, and you guys put so much work into them. So just wonder what our communication strategy might be for those.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, through to Trustee Fiorillo. If there's something that I think could always be an area of growth is being able to ensure that our parents get into their hands exactly some of the amazing supports and good works that we have. Right now, we do post it on our public website, and they are sent out to all staff and our leadership in our internal distributions called our Staff Week at a Glance and our Leadership Week at a Glance. And then from there, the way that it would get into the hands of the parents would be as it's selected by our administrators in our sites in order to incorporate into their weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly newsletters. And there are some sites that do say there has been a new Little Liturgies that has dropped, or a new liturgical reflection that has dropped. And there are other times when they're focusing on prayer or another aspect. But that's definitely something that we can take back to the team.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Trustee Fiorello. And so seeing no one else in queue, we'll turn it back to you, Vice Chair Tuchansky, should you wish to close your motion. Go ahead, please.
No, but thank you, Madam Chair.
Oh, thank you very much. And so at this time, we will call the vote. Thank you. No surprise. As all trustees have voted and are in favor, and I mean, you heard all of the inspiration and all of the amazing, remarkable, extraordinary messages they had to share with you, the motion is carried. Thank you very much. And so we will now move on to 4.1, Board Chair Report. And again, we've talked about beginning a new year, calendar year. But one area that I think is really, really important to mention is that with the installation of the Most Reverend Archbishop Stephen Hero, we enter the new year with joy, hope, and a renewed purpose and gratitude. And this season of renewal brings fresh energy to our schools as students and staff return from the Christmas break and learning routines are reestablished. Guided by our division theme, People of Hope, Catholic education, as we've heard time and time again this afternoon, continues to focus on the formation of the whole child, mind, body, and spirit. We are encouraged by the leadership and encouragement of our students and staff, and where hope is lived out in meaningful ways. January also marks the start of open house season across Edmonton Catholic schools, welcoming families to explore Christ-centered learning environments and diverse programming. As enrollment continues to grow, the board remains committed to advocacy for safe, welcoming learning spaces, and to supporting the recruitment and retention of dedicated staff. We are grateful for the trust of our families and communities and remain steadfast in governing with care, integrity, and faith, always keeping students at the heart of our decisions. And I'm proud to read the recommendation for the record that the Board of Trustees acknowledges receipt of the January Board Chair Report on hashtag ECSD Faith Inspires for information purposes. And we'll now move on to 4.2 Chief Superintendent Report, and I'll turn it back over to you, Chief Superintendent Anderson.
Thanks very much, Madam Chair, and I wish to also highlight some of the activities as Chief Superintendent alongside with staff on some of the happenings in our division as they relate to our division priorities. And as mentioned before, under Living Our Faith, we had trustees, senior division leaders, principals, and chaplains who were able to participate in a workshop with Archbishop Miller, who we know is the author of the 5 Marks of Catholic School Identity framework. And it was an opportunity to have really focused conversations on how we can further enhance the distinctiveness of our division. Of course, I was honored to attend the installation of Archbishop Stephen Hero, and we look forward to having future engagements with him. And tomorrow we are celebrating the opening of St. Josephine Bakita Catholic Elementary Junior High School, the official school opening and blessing with a liturgy. And again, there'll be many people joining us for that event. In terms of learning excellence, I was pleased to join our principal training group and to discuss one of the leadership quality standards on visionary leadership. And it's always inspiring to have an opportunity to further talk about our why. Why do we do the work that we do? And further to that, our Catholic Education Leadership Group, we attended our annual Archbishop Joseph McNeil Leadership Academy. And there were 2 days filled with prayer, reflection, and deep learning about our division focus on optimal learning. In terms of organizational excellence, we just completed our annual survey this month, and the results of this survey, of course, play an important role to how we continue in our work, and it influences a lot of the strategies that help us in our division plan for continuous growth. And our student voice team, as mentioned many times, we get so much pleasure joining our students, and we are just grateful that they bring us their perspective, and they have so much to share, and we really appreciate their sincerity and honesty when they come to the table with us. And with embracing diversity, our Ukrainian bilingual program schools attended their annual liturgy and celebration of the gift of Ukrainian bilingual education and our partnership with the Eparchy of Edmonton. And something to look forward to, we're hosting a winter storytelling evening with Ekti Margaret Cardinal on January 28th. And storytelling in the winter months has been a special time of year for our Indigenous communities. It brings people together, it strengthens community, fosters intergenerational connections, and can be a source of healing, laughter, and resilience during those long winter days. And so, Madam Chair, our recommendation is that the Board of Trustees acknowledges receipt of the Chief Superintendent's report on hashtag ECSD Faith Inspires, January 2026 for information purposes.
Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent Anderson. Of course, your report is always so detailed, and we know how extremely busy you continue to be. But of course, it also continues to highlight the exemplary achievements and activities that are aligned with the Division Priorities Framework. And we applaud both you and your team for your responsiveness in continuing always to seek improvement and growth, along with providing the assurance and excellence that is a priority for Edmonton Catholic Schools. We also wish to highly commend your leadership in fostering an environment of trust, support, and collaboration. And so our deepest gratitude once again goes to you, to our senior leadership, our principals, our teachers, our staff, just everyone, for your unwavering commitment to serving in the best interests of our students. And as this is not a motion, I take great pride to read the recommendation for the record that the Board of Trustees acknowledges receipt of the Chief Superintendent's report on hashtag ECSD Faith Inspires, January 2026 2026 for information purposes. And before I move on to closing prayer, I do see Vice Chair Tuchansky in queue, so I'll turn it over to her first.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. It's actually perfect that we come to the end of both of your reports. The trustees, of course, along with you guys, attended a chamber event this weekend. And Chief Superintendent Anderson and Board Chair Palazzo, it is remarkable to watch the two of you when you are in a room full of leaders and people in the city. The opportunity you guys take to meet and engage with as many leaders as you can at an event like this is truly remarkable. From her honor Salma Lakhani to various levels of government, ASBA, junior achievement, the list goes on. Literally for almost 2 hours, you guys circled the room, making connections, not stopping, and representing our division at an extraordinary high level at this event. And I can tell you, it was pretty remarkable to watch. No stone was unturned, and I'm surprised that your hands weren't tired from shaking. So this is exactly what we want to see from our board chair and our CEO. So we're so grateful that every time, like I say, you're out and about, you take your job seriously and you highlight the division and what we're doing and take every opportunity to make connections for us as a division. So I didn't want to, I know this will probably come up next month, but it's fresh on my mind and it was truly unbelievable to watch. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And I didn't even pay her to say all those words. But you know, it does come through the efforts of a village. And so because we were there as a board, and of course, we had our vice chair there with her camera. I don't know how many of you are aware, but she has become quite the pro at selfies. So she's a great selfie taker. And she says, no, I don't need you to do anything. And she'll just hold it up there and she'll take the photo. And so again, you're only as good as your team. And so the fact that our board deems it important, essential, to go to these events and represent our division and of course continue to advocate, that comes from the efforts of all. So thank you for your kind words, but of course it's all of us. So thank you for that. And we will now turn it over. Move on to 5.1, closing prayer, and we'll turn it over to you, Trustee Engel, to please lead us in closing prayer.
Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the gift of this new year and for the opportunity to serve our school community. Bless our work and our efforts, and guide us to act with your wisdom, compassion, and faithfulness in all that we do. May your spirit fill our hearts with hope, joy, and peace, and may your love shine through all our actions. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Trustee Engel. And so I just want to note for the record that it is 5:01. And so, I mean, that's pretty good considering we talked and we had amazing presentations here today. So we are looking for a motion to adjourn, just looking for one of my colleagues. There we go. Trustee Engel, go ahead, please.
I move to adjourn, and I'd also like to add I was under a lot of stress doing a closing prayer with Father Julian in the audience.
Thank you very much. Do you wish to speak to your motion?
Just I don't want that kind of stress again.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And so we will call the vote.
Oops, sorry.
And there you go. Yeah, they were fast. And so as all trustees are in favor to adjourn the meeting, the motion is carried. And we just want to, again, extend our heartfelt appreciation for joining us today. And on behalf of us all, just the promise of a hopeful and joyous 2026. Thank you and God bless. Have a wonderful evening.